never. Throughout our lives, it impacts all of us. Pain profoundly impacted 17-year-old me and his younger sister, Rose. A severe storm swept through their lives, leaving scars in its wake. But it also led to growing awareness that they hadn't gone through it alone. God was with them through it all. When the storms come, I didn't come. You know when people laugh and say, "That's so retarded"? I don't think that's funny. My sister has a disease called autism. It interferes with the brain and causes her physical and neurological problems. I was only 5 years old when my sister was diagnosed with autism. She was only 18 months old. As Rose grew up, she developed behaviors that made it hard for her to fit in. She made strange noises. She couldn't talk with people. Instead, she would repeat questions that people asked her or say phrases she had memorized over and over and over. Like, go for a ride, go for a ride, go for a ride, snack, snack, snack. We didn't know how to play with each other. She often threw temper tantrums. Why? We had no idea most of the time. We eventually found out that the main cause of her tantrums was the simple fact that she was hungry. Not everything was bad, though. She had her own cute little ways of showing her happiness. Her smile was so full of life that it would brighten my day. Her laughter had the same effect. She was never mean to me and never teased me. We loved each other. As Rose grew older, her medical problems grew worse. Many hospital visits, the complicated medical issues she had, and special diets she needed brought overwhelming stress into our lives. She often woke up at all hours of the morning, and I had to call the mom and dad while I was in bed. She's up again. Nights were extra stressful, because if I accidentally made a sound during the middle of the night that woke her up, she would be up all night long. Needless to say, Rose got most of my parents' attention. When I was 15 and Rose was 12, a massive storm broke into our lives, turning our world upside down. I remember the day vividly. I was sitting at home in the school when the phone rang. Mom answered. After a long pause, she went into a different room, finished the phone call, and then called my dad. Finally, she came out of the room and spoke with tears in her eyes and a horrified expression on her face. She seemed to be talking to herself. No. This cannot be happening. I knew something terrible must have happened. I finally got up the courage to ask, "What's wrong, Mom?" Reply still haunts me today. "Dean, the school called and said that there might be a possibility that your sister, they think your sister's been sexually assaulted." Time stopped. My heart pounded loudly. I felt sick to my stomach. Hunter's thoughts and emotions coursed through me that day. Anger, doubt, and others I'd rather not describe. Our fears were confirmed later on when a witness spoke up. I was devastated, but I hid my pain with a smile. I kept this a secret from my friends for months, all the while torturing myself with questions like, how come I didn't notice anything? Or, have I failed her as a brother? Months later, I was still hurting, still sad, and very angry. One day I could not control my emotions anymore. I raised my voice to God. "Lord, why did you allow this to happen to her? How could it possibly glorify you? And while we're at it, God, why did you allow her autism? Why? Tears poured down my face. My agony was unbearable, and I couldn't hold in the pain any longer. I wrestled with God that day, pouring every doubt, every question, and every complaint that I had. I was sure he'd be angry with me and punish me. How dare you question me? But something else happened. Instead of feeling his anger, I actually felt he listened to me. Like he actually shared my pain and agony. Despite what I thought would happen, I felt at peace for the first time in a very long time. It was as if God opened up his arms and embraced me with his unfailing love. Months passed. Rose became hungrier, angrier, and stronger. My mom and dad got with Rose's during the tantrums as they tried to restrain Rose so she wouldn't hurt herself. They didn't want me to help because they were afraid that I might get hurt or accidentally hurt Rose. My parents were able to handle her until the Christmas break a year after her sexual assault. Because Rose loves to be on schedule, school breaks were always hard for us. Tantrums were more frequent with less morning. One day during break, I had a friend out. Rose started throwing her tantrums. I calmly asked my friend to go upstairs. My mom was really struggling to restrain Rose. I heard Mom cry out! Rose had bitten her. I had to do something. So I tried to hold her down. She was strong, much stronger than I thought. She continued to gnash her teeth and screaming, trying to injure herself and us. She succeeded by digging her knee as hard as she could into my stomach. We need to give her calm medication, but fearing what would happen if one of us were to let go, we called my friend upstairs. Alex! Alex! Come downstairs! Hurry! We need you! Alex came downstairs and looked at us with fearful eyes. We need you to get her medicine. Alex hurriedly found the medication. We somehow managed to get the medicine into her mouth, and she swallowed it, but she continued to struggle. My mom yelled, Alex! Call my husband! Alex grabbed the phone, left the room, and called my dad. When he came back in the room, it was obvious that he was quite shaken with the whole ordeal. He hung up the phone and looked at my mom for direction. It's going to be okay, Alex. Alex turned and ran upstairs. Mom and I held on to Rose for dear life until Dad got home. When he came, he took both our places, restraining Rose to protect her from himself. I was in a daze. It all seemed so unreal. My mom called 911. She spoke quickly and loudly. Yes, yes, Trumshire Road, yes, please hurry. Time stood still. The ambulance arrived, and Rose finally calmed down. I finally felt like I could leave. As I made my way upstairs, I broke down and cried. After a little while, we went back downstairs and found my pastor, a few of my neighbors, the medics, and my parents talking about what to do. Rose needed professional care because as a family, we couldn't handle her any longer. The next day, Rose was transferred to Franciscan's Hospital for Children. That would be her new home away from home for almost 6 months. We almost rose a lot. This change brought a calm to our home. Rose's environment in the hospital was very routine-based, and she started to get better while she was there. The hospital recommended a residential school for Rose. It was hard for us to admit at first, but this option was the best thing for her. We prayed for God's leadership and found a wonderful school located only 15 minutes away from where we lived. The day we took her out of the hospital and into the school was a great day. It was also a sad day. Rose might never live at home again. Today, Rose is doing much better, and is usually happy, especially when we visit. She's a bright girl who loves life and loves her family. She loves going to church, she loves being around people, and she loves God very much. She is kind, is very beautiful, and when she smiles, she will touch your heart. My parents are coping with what has happened. Even though they miss Rose, they can see that she's very happy. I miss Rose terribly, but I know this is God's plan for her. There are still wounds that haven't healed, memories that haven't been forgotten, and pain that may never fully go away. But I know that God is slowly healing and changing me from the inside out, and that He has never left me or Rose. Even though the storm impacted me so greatly, and taught me to trust God, even in the worst of circumstances, God never wastes pain. My favorite song by Casting Crowns says it well. And I will praise you in the storm, and I will lift my hands. For you are who you are, no matter where I am. And every tear or cry, you hold in your hand. You never left my side. And though my heart is torn, I will praise you.